Welcome to LeThans Art. We're going to continue our storyboarding, but I'd like to introduce my friend Eleni. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Before you start asking me your questions, I just want to take you back through a couple pictures of a short animated short I'm working on. So I have 4 characters. This is the Kraken. He's the villain.
Okay.
And these are the 4 characters, and they have to work together to save their waterhole.
Okay.
So these are the storyboards.
From your previous episodes.
Yes.
Cool.
So,
I remember some of them.
So I'm actually gonna, before you start, I'm actually gonna read off the end of this script.
Okay.
Just for the audience. And it says, "Run, William, swim away." William swims as fast as he can back to his friends, but the Kraken's tentacles are approximately 50 feet long. As William is about to be caught, the fierce tentacles feel a bite. It's River. He's come to say, "William, leave him alone." The Kraken is enraged by this, and it chases on. The 2 friends swim up to shore just in time. As the Kraken reaches the surface, its tentacles are once again grabbed, this time by Trumpet the elephant. The beast gets pulled out of the water and thrown into a tree. "Take that," says Trumpet, while blowing some of the leaves onto the injured beast, leading it to its death. The friends rejoice. Their water hole is now healed with the help of the medicinal leaves. They are safe. That's the end of the story. So I'm actually gonna pull up my pictures. And I'm gonna start drawing, and I might cut you off here and there. So
No worries.
When you're ready, shoot me your question.
Perfect. Thank you for the heads up, as you are welcome to chime in and interrupt and ask follow-up questions or any clarification as needed.
Okay.
So the first question I have, and before I go into my questions, I just want to say thank you for having me on your show. It's been an honor to be here and a joy to see the sequence of your cultivation with your art.
Thank you.
So the first question I have, Thanasi, is do you feel there's a specific moment in your artistic journey that defined your style or subject focus?
Yeah, so I've been really drawing for I've been drawing all my life, but drawing for projects, not including my own, I'd say the last 4 to 6 years, and 2019 is kind of where I started going into watercolors, which is my main focus of painting when I do paint. So that's my short answer to that question.
Very cool. Very cool. So what is your favorite? Watercolor?
Painting? Watercolor, I haven't used acrylics in like a very long time.
Yeah, I remember. You actually gifted me, I think, was it acrylic paint you used to?
Acrylic. I haven't used acrylics in like going on 6 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's been a very long time.
Okay, very cool. So in light of your journey with your enthusiasm for arts and the different styles you have been pursuing, how do your emotions or your personal experiences influence the characters or themes you portray in your work?
Yeah, as I'm switching to my
No worries.
pencils and pens. You really have to take any characters that you're drawing and put yourself into those characters' shoes. And it's all about visual vocabulary and
So living through your characters.
So, for example, on my previous episode, I was drawing this very close up of this kraken, and in the script it says big eyes appear. So you have to put yourself in the character and say, what is he doing? Is he angry? In that case, he's angry.
Yep. Hence the red eyes.
Yes.
Interesting.
So it's all about animators think about acting. They don't think about drawing. And also, just to piggyback off of that, there's a saying, drawing is more thinking than actual drawing. So when you know the subject well enough, you can use your visual vocabulary and pop things out of your head.
Very cool. Very cool. And as you commence your artwork, is another question, if I may,
Yes.
is are there any particular artists or movements that have significantly influenced your approach to painting or your view on art overall?
So I have several.
Okay.
My first is former Disney guy, Aaron Blaise.
Classic.
Well loved. I've taken some of his online art classes.
How? What mode online?
His website, creatureartteacher.com.
Okay.
He directed the movie Brother Bear, which came out in 2003.
Okay.
And then I have a few other guys that I watch now. One of them is David Coleman. He talks about shape vocabulary, and he is one of my influences.
Okay.
There's some of his guys that he looks up to, Frank Frazetta. One of my go-to guys is Heinrich Kley, a German artist from the late 1800s.
Okay.
And he focused a lot of drawing with like dynamic energy. So so when it looks like I'm scribbling like I am right now, I'm kind of on this Heinrich Kley type of thing.
Absolutely.
And there's a couple of other guys that I like. I sometimes use big head proportions for some characters, and that's going into David Coleman. And again, his name is a guy from the 1900s, T.S. Sullivan, and he uses big head proportions. So there's a Disney artist named Chris Sanders, and he did a bunch of cool characters. Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, and
everyone loves Stitch.
And he used these big head proportions. And Chris Sanders was probably influenced by T.S. Sullivan.
Makes sense.
So, without going into too much detail, there's one more guy that I like to talk about, and his name is Andy Gaskell. He worked for Disney from 73. I don't know if he still works for Disney. He's worked on several different projects. Illustrator, painter, colorist. I kind of use my stuff for him. And there's an interview from 14 years ago that I always go back to, and they were asking how he goes by using a color script, and his answer was read it 2 or 3 times, and by the second reading, the second or third reading, you just need to see what pops out in your head.
So that was your takeaway from that interview?
There were several.
Okay. What keeps you so engaged to reoccurringly watch this interview?
I just like the way he talks.
What is the style in which he talks?
Very calm.
Okay, calm. Would you say inspiring?
Yeah, every video that I look for, I kind of watch it over and over again to see if something else pops out at me.
Okay.
And there's artists that I like, but those are my kind of go-to guys.
Okay. Your top tier.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. If you were to collaborate with one of those artists,
I'm actually trying to get a couple an artist, one of those artists that David Coleman on my show, and he's probably gonna.
David Coleman, if you're listening and watching,
he's actually working.
Medfield TV.
So he's actually working on the prequel Mufasa movie, which comes out in a couple weeks.
I heard.
So I'm actually going to watch it in a couple weeks.
Good.
He's a storyboard. He's a story artist. I'm probably going off on him for.
It's okay.
And I took one of his classes to design stylization.
Wow, design stylization.
I
So
think it was
Coleman. Coleman is his name.
David Coleman.
David Coleman. Okay. David, you're well loved. Very cool, very cool. And he was one of the artistic directors, for lack of a better phrase, as I don't know the jargon as well.
He's a story artist, not storyboard, but story artist.
Story artist.
And he's known for his animals, so design.
Hence animal, hence Mufasa. Interesting. Yeah. Story artist. Wow. Okay. I've learned a lot in the last about 12, 15 minutes we've been here. Interesting. Story artist. And his specialization or his focus is animals.
Yeah. I actually have a couple of books, and one of the books, when I got it, and when I ordered it, I love drawing lions, and he said he'd autograph, which he did, but when I got it in the mail, I opened up the front cover and he drew a lion without realizing how much lions have an impact on me. So I.
Interesting. Hence the lines. Very cool.
So yes.
Wow. It's I think really important to discuss who inspires you, how they inspire you, and to, pay homage and appreciation to these artists, because I know that someone inspired them. So I think this cycle of appreciation is important to disclose as you share who inspires you and what artist and or movement has transpired to your work today. Very cool. Very cool. I like the blue background quite a bit.
This part of the story takes place underwater.
Interesting.
Until I get to a certain part, so about maybe there, I'm gonna start.
Interesting.
It gets off the blue.
Hence the blue. Very cool. Cool. Okay, and shall we go to the next question?
Yes.
How do you stay inspired and motivated when working on a long-term or particularly intricate piece? What sustains your motivation? What?
Just keep drawing.
Keep drawing.
You need to get out what some people call the art block, or
Okay.
like the imposter syndrome. You can't be. You just have to keep going. You can't be like, I can't do this anymore. I forget how to do this.
Okay. Very
Which
cool.
is why I keep on going back to the video.
I see. Interesting. May I ask you a question about your live drawing? Do you approach live drawing differently compared to working privately? And do you prefer one or the other, or do you enjoy both?
Well, live drawing is kind of educational,
Okay.
I guess. And you're really doing it in front of people. If you're doing it by yourself, you don't have to worry about all this technical stuff, and you still have to think about what you're doing.
Okay.
I guess maybe adults think about more than what younger kids do, because younger kids, when they're drawing, they're just I don't think they really think about all the stuff that goes behind the scenes.
Okay. So it's an opportunity for you to teach and show others.
Yes.
Also to inspire them or to encourage them to try drawing and or other art.
And some kids think they can't draw, which I find kind of foolish. Like,
So what's a message you'd like to share with them?
don't be afraid to mess up when you draw.
Okay.
Just keep going. Every picture doesn't have to be a perfect drawing.
Okay.
If you notice right now, I'm actually scribbling through my scenes right now.
Okay. So interesting. So in its opportunity, your live drawing is a way to showcase and encourage people to draw.
Yeah.
Or to try it out, even if they're not perfect.
Yeah.
Or to just get the ball moving. As you engage with them too, right? It's because they're your audience. Interesting. So in ending, as we conclude our time together, what's, in addition to what you've mentioned, what's one piece of advice you would like to share? Like, what advice would you give to emerging artists looking to find their voice and style in a crowded field like art and drawing? I know you discussed how smaller children are hesitant, but how about for maybe an older age student or an older person? Like people our age are a bit more older than us. Like, what advice would you give to emerging artists looking to find their voice and style in this field of art?
To make nothing's complicated. When I was younger, I used to be afraid of coming on stage
Okay.
and coming in front of a camera, which is pretty funny now for the fact that I have my own show.
Yep. And many cameras.
Yeah. So be patient. Don't be afraid.
Okay.
Why I was afraid back then? I don't know, I was young, now more mature.
Okay.
It's really a strange, complicated question when you think about it.
Yep. But people evolve, right? We build courage.
Yep.
We have good support systems, right? Our communities,
Yeah.
at work, at church, family, friends, work.
Yep.
Interesting. So if you were to share a phrase or a sentence or two to a artist who'd like to launch and or advance their career and or skill, what would it be?
In art.
Yes.
So I've already touched on this. Drawing is more thinking than actual drawing.
Yep.
And you gotta study before you achieve what you're trying to do.
Okay. How you reoccurringly go back to your videos, your sources.
Yeah.
Your.
It's a lot of research.
So after that research time, would you say that it builds your confidence to pursue maybe more advanced styles of art?
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Well, to wrap up, it was an honor and a joy to be here as your guest on your show. Do you have any questions for me before we conclude?
What got you into art?
Why I love different art. I love more tangible, manipulative, textured art. What that means to me is I love collaging. I love bringing different textures into art. So if I were to have a table, for instance, with maybe a few magazines, a few like pipe cleaners, a few different multicolored pom-poms, and or different like other textured material, I'd love just to create a sort of mixed textured collage with words. I love words. I love languages. So I'd like to have maybe multilingual languages and magazines that are multilingual and different textured materials that are simple. Yarn, it can even be yarn. It can even be adhesive, jeweled stickers, Thanasi, right?
Yeah.
And I just love maybe to use images, words, to just collage. I love collaging. I'm not the best drawer or painter or illustrator, but I really do love bringing different words, images, and textured materials into one canvas. For instance, I recently went to a grief group through my university I study at, and we had an opportunity to collage just words and images on just a very simple, maybe like 5x7 canvas. And I absolutely loved it. And it reignited my enthusiasm to rethink, maybe I should do this a little bit more often, even once a month. So that's the art I enjoy. And I do it by themes. Like it can be interest-based, it can be work-related, religious-based, so family-oriented. Like I have different themes in my head and I pursue each canvas when collaging. I love it. I can do it all day. And when I taught high school, the start of the school year, I would buy all the students like old school notebooks, the black and white notebooks with no spiral, it's just old school. And I would bring in old magazines and we would dedicate 1 or 2 days to collaging their covers. And I would put this laminating material to seal it in. And they absolutely loved it because then they build some sort of personal connection to their notebook, which will be a very sacred component with the school year in my class. So I try to share this enthusiasm with others if they haven't explored it. Just how you are showing and portraying your enthusiasm and love for art to others and encouraging them through your show. And this is why I thought maybe I join you on an episode, help your audience understand your passion and enthusiasm as you launched your art career. And look at you now. We have an entire show live from Medfield TV. Thank you for sharing your space. I think it's also fair and considerate that you asked me about my passion and my style of art I like to pursue and do on my free time. But yeah, I hope that you will continue to cultivate as you inspire people like me and other audience members to give art more time or a try.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you. You're
Thank
welcome
you.
anytime to come on, anytime you're away from your job.
Thank you. It
And,
was a joy.
So next week we will begin illustrating for the Poisoned Waterhole. And I'd like to thank Eleni one more time for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
having me.
And until then, we will see you all next time. Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.